Yes.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
Damn, that's a good-looking guy. Whoever did that ad was just handsome motherfucker. What's going on, guys? It's what it is. Is it Monday?
It is.
Holy shit. Welcome to Monday, everybody. No, and excuse my language. You guys know I don't usually fucking cuss. So this week I am flipping over or whatever.
A new leaf.
Yes, a new leaf. Yes. And I have promised myself that this week I am not going to worry about what's going on in Washington. Not really give a shit what's going on with Epstein and the whole files and all that. I think there's a plan behind that, and you and I will talk about that here in a little bit. Because there's more to the story than just, Elon and Trump are going back and forth and all that. And once I explain what's really going on, I think people are going to really wrap their heads around it, and it makes perfect fucking sense. It's exactly what I would do if I was where Trump is and Elon are right now. But first, what I want to jump into is we're at a point right now. We are at an inflection point. And what it is I was the one who on a show maybe 4 or 6 weeks ago, I said there are thousands of companies that are lining up to actually purchase cryptos, especially Bitcoin, this quarter number 3. For those of you who have never owned a corporation or an actual company or anything like that, everything revolves around quarter. You plan for your next quarter. So when we've heard over and over again that, Michael Saylor's out, doing this, and Michael Saylor's out, talking to this group of, 2,000 people, 4,000 people, 8,000 people, and all of them own companies. And it isn't like as soon as he had a little chit chat with them that they ran home and said, all right, we are buying Bitcoin tomorrow. as a corporation, you have to prepare. You have to, okay, what are we going to allocate? Where are we going to draw from? Where are our sources? And how do we buy it? And that takes at least 3 to 6 actual months of preparation. So now we are hitting the point where those plans are rolling out. Here at our organization, you and I, we plan for, all right, this is what we're doing in our third quarter. This is what we're doing in the fourth quarter. This is what we're doing quarter one of next year. We have a roadmap of what we want to achieve. And we're hitting the point right now where, and it's not going to slow down. It's only going to get bigger. And you have to remember, probably 80% of those who are doing it are not going to say they're doing it. They aren't actually going to put out a press release or anything like that. They are going to quietly buy. And I know for a fact that Apple is actually buying right now, because once I explain what they plan on doing, it all makes sense. And that I'll explain probably next week, because I have a telephone call.
They have the largest cash reserves, and
yes.
Therefore they're the highest at risk if fiat devalues.
Well,
they have to hedge against that.
They are allowing Amazon to get involved first, because what Apple is actually going to do is that they have the iPhone. And when they roll out the Apple Wallet, where you can actually, because this is quietly happening, and I'll just explain it right now. Apple is applying to actually be a global bank of sorts.
Money movement.
Exactly. Money operator, or whatever the hell they call it. Because what they're going to do is they're going to let Amazon launch what they plan on doing on their platform. But then what Apple is actually doing is you'll actually have an Apple Wallet, which we already have on our phone.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have it where you can actually purchase Bitcoin on your Apple Wallet. Mm-hmm. And the incentive program is the Lightning Network, because they are going to integrate with everything. Amazon, Walmart, and the reward programs that each of these are going to implement is actually based on the Lightning Wallet. And Walmart and Apple will launch their own coins. And here we go, folks. This is where it gets crazy. You'll earn interest on what I think they're going to call seeds. That's the rumor going around. That's what their coin is actually going to be called, is Apple Seeds. Which, to tell you the truth, it's a genius fucking name.
Sounds cool.
And you'll earn seeds using your Apple phone. And they're going to launch a Lightning node on your phone that you can run. Your wallet will actually be a Lightning node. and you'll earn seeds processing using your hand.
Just retail, just Amazon and Walmart.
Yeah. And they'll have an exchange rate of apple seeds and Wallies, which is what that's what they're actually naming their coin is Wallies. And this is all going to roll out seamlessly because all of the airlines, Southwest is launching this. They have been super quiet about it, as everyone else has. But this is going to happen January next year.
First quarter.
And as it happens, they're going to actually back their currency using actual Bitcoin. Because now that's really an excuse less than a reason, because they don't really need to actually back anything. They're Apple.
Yeah.
You know, hey, this is our dollar. It's good. And also where Trump has them by the balls is anything that is pegged to the dollar, they have to hold treasuries.
So what Trump is really doing is he's enhancing the U.S. dollar from devaluing.
Absolutely. Well, it will actually devalue.
Initially.
Yeah. Initially, until we have full saturation, because that's what in 1934, whenever they said, all right, gold is illegal. You can't hold any gold anymore.
Right.
The reason that they did that was after 1929, a lot of people quit using the dollar. And they were losing the usage of the actual paper currency. So they had what they viewed, they had no choice. We have to outlaw gold because that's what people are holding as a reserve and not holding our dollars. So they outlawed it. And because they needed currency usage over all of America. So they brought in all of the gold and they said, all right, we will reprice it. The reason they repriced it was not because of inflation. That's a reason they could have done it, but that wasn't the major reason. The major reason was so they would actually force people to use the paper currency.
Right. So right now, as we look at this chessboard, this big, beautiful bill has passed, right? So that was a big win for President Trump. I think not a single Democrat voted, which goes to show that perhaps we're on the right track.
Yeah. Well, we're on the right track, and they're definitely on the wrong track, because what a lot of people need to wrap their heads around is they don't want a great America. That's not their goal. Their goal is to destroy America. That's the progressives. And when you realize that there's no real friggin' we are going to reach across the aisle for someone who's actually trying to kill us. And that's what they're doing. And Trump and Elon, I think that's what Elon really realized is, fuck, the Republicans are just as bad as the fucking Democrats. And now,
I mean, the rhinos have been a thorn in President Trump's agenda from day one,
yep,
including the first term. But it seems to me that the reason, the whole Epstein being a ex-CIA guy, basically,
yes, he
Mossad
was.
guy, right? The whole reason for the Epstein Island was for control and power.
Yep.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if now this, document comes out, which is not signed. It doesn't have a date on it. It's a document which says, well, this Epstein thing is just closed out right now.
Yeah.
Right? But it's highly unlike typical CIA press releases or whatever, which would have a signature, which would have a document. This has neither of those things.
Nope.
And yet the social media junkies have all jumped on it and gone ahead and said that. But could it be that the Epstein files that obviously exist are being used to rein in the rhinos? I mean,
Yes.
is that even a possibility?
That's exactly what's going on, because you have to look at it as, what is the overall goal? Is it, okay, let's release the Epstein? That's our goal. That's Trump's number one goal. I can completely fix America if we release these Epstein pictures and all that shit. No, that's not his goal. What his goal is to actually make America great again. And so what I think, and I'm pretty sure I'm damn right on this, because I know how Trump really, how he processes things. I think him and Elon, when they created what do you call it? Doge. When they created Doge, that was more an information that they wanted. They wanted to see the organization. They wanted to see the outline of the corruption. They knew, anyone reasonable would know that Republicans and the Democrats are involved
on the same
in this.
take. They're on
the same freaking take. So Elon,
and they're compromised.
Yeah, and they're compromised. So if you have people who are compromised, leverage that. And at the end of your presidency, you go, all right, the Republicans are dead. The Dems are dead. Welcome to the American Party. And that's why this was all an op. Because if you look at it from the overall goal, let's remember when Trump was elected, the original time, what he said at his inauguration was, this is not another 4-year election. Those were exactly his words. This is not just another 4-year election. And how he laid it out, because if you guys remember, all of the swamp was right behind him, just glaring at him. And those were the most honest words we have ever heard from any president ever. We have an elite. We have corruption in Washington. We have the swamp. We have this. We have that. We have all this shit. And that's when he said, we have to change the whole system. And when you know that the Republicans are bad, that the whole swamp, it isn't Republican, it isn't Democrat, it's the whole swamp.
It's all of them.
It's all of them. you have to, you can't save the crooked Republicans and go after the crooked Democrats. So these whole 12 years are on purpose.
So if I understand this right, basically, folks, what we are conjecturing here is that this big, beautiful bill had to pass. It was really important that it passed. President Trump himself was on the phone working, and it was a pretty close because almost like every single Democrat voted against it, and we needed every single Republican on board, including the rhinos. Now, potentially, those rhinos are compromised. Potentially, that this whole Epstein thing could be leveraged to coerce, bring in votes that are necessary to get this greater bill passed, which is going to actually make America great again, because till now, all of the budget increases, trillions of dollars, when the budget ceiling was moved up, have gone to Ukraine. They've gone to all over the place except for our own home. So I think what President Trump is saying here is, look, yes, we are going to increase the budget deficit by a little bit. However, that money is going to go in investments into America, which is now going to create greater wealth. We saw the jobs report, which has come in much stronger than expected. And all these so-called economists and specialists and experts are scratching their heads trying to figure out how come we collected this $1 trillion in tariffs. So, I think President Trump knows what he's doing. And then they announced this thing about the Epstein thing, which buys them a certain amount of goodwill, shall we say, in the voting process. And then, as Ben is saying, before President Trump's term is over, I think he's just going to release it all and literally, open up the doors, which is going to hurt and actually going to expose, not hurt, but expose both the people on the left and the people on the right who are corrupt. And then there's a conduit that's necessary to go in a new way, which is going to become the American Party potentially, right?
Absolutely. Once you realize our war is mostly with the CIA, all of the intelligence agencies, right? And you can't win against them unless you play their game. And that's what Elon, that's what Trump, that's what everyone who's in the know, that's exactly what's going on. Because what everyone watching this, what you guys need to realize is the number one thing that is important is implementing the Bitcoin into the system. That's their whole goal. The rest, once you plug it in to the government, corruption will just roll off, because this is what's going to save America, because our problem is our money. That's at the root of everything. And once you plug it in, once it's a reserve asset, this opens up, and this is what they plan on doing, is every company that wants to issue a US dollar coin will have to actually purchase treasuries. That's replacing the need for the Federal Reserve. And if you read the bill, it actually says that every treasury bond will have a 0% interest. So the federal government will not pay any money as a reward to hold these treasury bills.
Kind of the Japan model.
Right,
Originally.
except better. Because what they're going to do is have a 10% kicker on each of the treasury bonds. And that 10% will be held in actual Bitcoin. And at the end, once the expiration of the treasury bond happens,
that kicker has gained in value.
Right. And the deal is the U.S. government keeps half of that Bitcoin. And that's how they are going to send. And it's going to be crazy.
It's material. It's a very large amount that can be done that way. And that takes care of the huge $36 trillion, whatever that means in debt.
No time.
In no time. And guys, this is, Ben talked about the quarters. So every business operating in quarters, what are they really doing? If they start to buy Bitcoin, which is why you're seeing this price movement, you're seeing this 108 to 109, it's just staying right in a very, very tight range.
Yes.
This tight, normally it was like, okay, between 100, 105, 110. Now we are seeing for the last almost the whole week, if not more, the range is right in that 108, 109. I mean, it's tightening up. And right about at the 112 is where you're going to have the breakout. So the moment this accumulation, and this is coming from corporations, guys. This is coming from each one of these companies saying, look, when we hold Bitcoin reserves on our balance sheet, this is quarterly. Look, what happens, let's imagine a normal company, right? They have a quarterly earnings report. Every one of the CEOs and CFOs comes out. They say, here's what our company did last quarter. We had this much of income, this much of dividend is declared, and it gets compared to the expectation, right? What the analysts expected. Yeah. If you beat the expectation, so they already set the expectation long before the quarter. If you make sure the analysts are happy, they set a lower expectation and you come out 1 penny ahead and everybody claps and the stock goes up. The whole thing is designed that way. Okay. Yeah. So now what's happening is these guys have basically said, if we start to hold Bitcoin in our treasury, now we're not having to do a stock buyback, which is normally but now you have an asset. So that asset's on your balance sheet. So on the asset, you have liabilities and you have assets, and then you have the net equity, right? So if your equity is going to go up, now you can actually declare dividends. You can actually show better income because your equity is going up. And so companies are realizing that their internal rate of return is a well-run company. A well-run company has an internal rate of return, 28, 30%, 32%.
Yep.
But if Bitcoin's going up at 50%, you've supercharged, basically you've turbocharged your internal rate of return simply by holding Bitcoin.
Yep.
That alone is a business. So you're creating a hybrid model by buying Bitcoin. So as Michael Saylor has been going out and evangelizing, I would use the word evangelizing Bitcoin more and more of these CEOs are going, oh, wow, I can supercharge, I can put a turbocharger in my company, which is called holding Bitcoin, 10%, 20%, whatever it is. And you're starting to see that movement. At the same time, they work with the biggest of buying companies that are buying in that 108, 109 range because that's a sweet spot. And on the other hand, they're dumping and then they're buying it back again.
Yeah.
And just, it's a very tight mechanism to keep the price check.
If you watch the actual chart, you can see whenever, because exchange, how we actually get the price is it's all of the exchanges that they use to aggregate a price. Well, some of those exchanges have higher weights in that actual calculation. like the highest one, I think, is either Binance or Coinbase. It's one of those. And what they do is they sell on one exchange that has a lot more weight, and then they'll actually buy on a smaller exchange which has less weight, because that way you're actually pushing the price down
on the higher weighted exchange.
On the higher weighted, and you can actually buy more on the lower.
You're getting that delta
without raising it on the original exchange as much. And that's what all of them are doing. Everyone watching right now, every time you see a drop, that's the big boys that are dropping the price on the weighted exchanges so they can actually launch all of their purchases on the smaller exchanges. And the counters, that they're not in trouble. They have no problem getting the Bitcoin. The problem is getting it at a certain price without it jumping.
Why do you think I'm so bullish on mining?
Yes.
Why do you think we keep pushing that and saying, hey guys, get into this group pool and mining? Yes. Because we are independent of that. Our cost of Bitcoin comes from electricity, land leases, the servers that are humming away every day. And so when we make Bitcoin originally from it's costing us $48,000, $50,000, $42,000, depending on all the different. But that's our hard cost.
Yeah.
And then wherever Bitcoin goes, it goes with all the trading stuff going on. But when you actually hold that Bitcoin and you're making that virgin Bitcoin, it's yours at a price that is defined by us, by our power cost, by our land cost, by our negotiation, not based on what a big company is doing on the exchange.
Everyone watching this right now, I'm going to explain why you want to give us a call on this. Excuse me. As the price jumps, and guys, every call I've had for the last week is get it while you can. Get it while you can. Because we're reaching a point where the over-the-counters are going to start tapping into the exchanges. Because let me tell you how an over-the-counter works. They connect a seller with a buyer, right? They very rarely go out and actually pull it off of an exchange. Very rarely. It's usually a seller and a buyer.
You got a pool. You got a pool.
Liquidity exactly. Pool. Problem, and just like you just said, we're in a really tight range. That really tight range, don't look at it from, oh my God, there's people buying it. Look at the people who aren't selling.
Correct.
That's the part you really want to look at. Is you have your sell wall, you got your buy wall. Well, your sell wall is flattening. That's what's happening. Right. Less and less people, and that friggin' buy wall is going to eat that sell wall up very quickly.
And it's going to the reserves, which is the exchanges, which are now down to about 2 million coins collectively.
Yeah.
In the top 10 big exchanges, there's like kind of 2 million coins left.
Right. And that is, let me explain what that is.
That's eating into the body fat.
Right. But what they're saying is there are 2 million coins on their exchanges that are for sale.
Correct.
Now, you and I both know there's a little trick that you can do that you can actually list. You can actually take your Bitcoin and you can actually put it on an exchange and you can set it at a price that is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, having it at that price has everyone else looking at it going, wow, we're going to go up. Look at that price up there. Not knowing that just because it's on the exchange, they can yank that off. Because
Absolutely.
right, because if you want to drop the price of actual Bitcoin, you can sell or say you're going to sell at a certain price or you're going to buy at a certain price. And that will set the emotions of everyone else on that platform.
It reminds me of the old horse racing days, Ben.
Yeah.
When you would, if you had money, you'd go and put $1,000 on a three-legged nag and drop his, and everybody else goes in, and then a minute before the race, you pull that money out,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
basically the same thing,
Yeah,
just more sophisticated with fancy words. What is the three-legged
yeah,
nag pricing that's going on here?
and that's we have to realize the big boys are playing now. These are professional people that their job is to get it at the lowest price, and there are no rules.
Oh, professional scoundrels, yeah.
Right. And so everyone watch, you're like, God, we're at like 108, we're at 109. What's going on? Why is the price going up? It's because number one, this is not a retail. Retail is not even existent right now because the last 2020 kind of wiped out a lot of retail because FTX and all the other shit, they're like, Bitcoin, whatever. Problem is, they're outliving their lives, not realizing what is going on in our economy here in cryptos. They have no idea of all of these corporations that are buying. And these are professionals. These guys know how to purchase 1,000, 2,000, 8, just these huge friggin' amounts of actual Bitcoin in just a small fluctuation rate.
Absolutely. And that's a brilliant analysis of the demand side that you just laid out. And guys, on the supply side, a lot of these exchanges, right, they have agreements with the big mining companies, right, which is providing the liquidity pool, which is providing the coins. Where else is it coming from? It's coming from mining, right? Here's what's happening. Just like you have the stock market to look at, these fluctuations, the way the big traders are going, we also look at the mining pools. And in the mining pools, we see two numbers. One is the exahashes. What is the total amount of computational power that is being applied to preserve the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And what is the price of Bitcoin itself? So when you see the exahashes, the computational power increasing, what that means is more miners and more money is going into putting more equipment out there. That's a bullish sign.
Yes.
So we are starting to see that happen where the network hash rate is actually going up.
Yes.
The network complexity is actually going up, which is a good sign because that is a front-running indicator.
Yes.
Unlike a lagging,
leading.
It's a leading indicator. Yep. It's a leading indicator which is saying, hey, these people who are putting in millions and billions of dollars into mining, which actually feeds the exchanges, are actually being told by the exchanges to crank up the machine. Come on, guys.
Yep.
Whip that horse faster because we need more.
Guys.
So that's what's going on here.
Yes, and that's why our program, guys and gals, listen to me now. Our programs, the mining programs we offer you guys, as the price rises, you're going to have so many people jumping into the mining.
Yep.
Because look at it like oil. As soon as we hit $100 per friggin' barrel, everyone and their mother was out there looking for oil.
Yeah.
Guys, right now we're at 109 something, $109,000 to produce one Bitcoin.
Well, it costs actually half
right.
of that. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the price is going to rubber band up and actually match up with the hash rate.
Yes.
And when it does, you want to be in the hash game.
Yes.
Because your cost will be 48.
50,000, 48.
But as soon as it shoots up and we're at 125, 150,
it's going to have to catch up.
Your price of creation isn't going to change.
Nope.
So your profit margin is going to fucking go crazy.
Correct.
And as soon as the wealthy smell that profit margin, they're going to go, we need to mine Bitcoin.
Correct.
And you're going to see oil companies. You're going to see electric companies. You're going to see your grandmother on a fucking treadmill fucking mining Bitcoin.
Correct.
Because everyone is, and it is going to be the gold rush, except 1,000 times more important. Because remember, guys, only 450 are produced per day.
Correct. 10-minute blocks.
400 and here's something I don't know if you guys know this. Riot, which is one of the largest mining companies out there, they aren't selling any Bitcoin.
Correct. They're hodling it.
Yeah,
they got it in their own treasury.
They went public. All right. And I'm telling you guys, they raised enough capital to operate, from what I hear, for about 4 years. And their pitch that they gave the actual investors, we aren't going to make jack shit for 4 years, except Bitcoin. And we ain't going to sell not a one of them. And that was the pitch to the investors. We aren't going to make you any fucking money for 4 years. But after 4 years, we're going to give you more money than you can even fucking imagine, because everything they're producing is increasing in value over the next 4 years.
Yeah.
That's genius.
And here's the difference, folks, between the trading side and the mining side. Trading, you can go in and out of it. It's 109, it's 112. I can buy, I can sell, whatever. But when Bitcoin starts to move up, everybody's going to want to jump into mining, but it takes time. There's physical movement, there are physical servers, there's infrastructure, there are power contracts. We are going to be in a position already ready for the battle, already ready for that elastic rubber band to go up and catch up with the price, the actual price.
Absolutely.
Right? We're already producing the coins. So we've already done a bunch of deployments. Our folks are already
Millions
in place.
of dollars.
And we have basically 10-year power contracts. Our power cost is not going up. Contract. We got land leases. We got equipment that's good for 4 to 5 years at least, right? We're buying the new miners. See, it's just like the oil wells that you were talking about. When oil is at $70 a barrel, there are wells that you can't even mine because the cost of producing the oil itself was, let's say, $45, $50 a barrel. There's not enough money to do that. But when oil goes to $130 a barrel, all the dead and barren freaking oil wells. So that's what starts to happen is when the price goes up, a lot of the old miners, which are inefficient, not so good, people can get their hands on those and they install those, right? But we are buying the latest and the best miners right now. We're capturing those and getting those deployed with the latest technology, with the highest efficiency, with the lowest joules per terahash, so that we can maximize that profit. And that's why we are laying that foundation, because once Bitcoin goes up, everybody and their grandmothers want to get into this game of producing Bitcoin at 50,000 while it's sitting at 150. Right?
And what I want you to realize with these programs, the goal isn't to make more fucking fiat. It's to send you more Bitcoin.
Correct.
Like you can hold one fucking, if you have one actual Bitcoin, that will appreciate in value, but you'll always just have one Bitcoin. How we have set this up is you actually take that one actual Bitcoin and we work with you for 4 years and we try and make it 2.
That's right.
Because you don't want more fiat, you want more actual Bitcoin. That's what the mining services we offer, because God bless the Bitcoin. It keeps going up. That's awesome. But if you always only have one friggin' Bitcoin,
it's not eroding.
Right. And this is mailbox Bitcoin. This is where every month, and we have clients we've actually sent friggin' Bitcoin to, and they're like,
every month.
Oh, holy crap, it works. It's like, of course it works.
It's math.
It's math. And right now, guys, because if you actually get involved in our program before the price really takes off, you're front running all of the future miners who are going to trip over themselves to actually go, oh man, we need to mine Bitcoin. You're already mining Bitcoin. And it's the equivalent of action of actually planting an apple tree. And it grows and you're like, wow, look at all the apples that my apple tree made. But the longer the tree's there, the bigger the apples get. So you not only have a tree growing apples, the apples continue to get bigger.
And produce more seeds.
And what we have set up is a perpetual money-making, appreciating asset system.
And at the same time, even though we generate Bitcoin, give Bitcoin, there are some people who said, hey, look, I've got Bitcoin sitting here. I love the hodling aspect of it, but I also need some income because I need to pay my monthly bills, right? And that's fine. So we have set up a program through which, for those of you who can hodl and keep that away for great, keep the Bitcoin. But for those of you who need to sell off a tiny piece of it, we have that program in place so that you can get your 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever the right number is for you, you can actually cash out so you can pay your bills. Now your Bitcoin still being hodled is generating a cash flow.
Everyone who owns a house right now, you can work with all of our programs and we can set you up where you have retirement income that never runs
perpetually.
out. That never, let me say that again. We can set you up in our system if you own a home where you will never run out of money in your retirement, or you can retire early using the equity of your house. This is what wealthy people do. Wealthy people do not get paychecks. Wealthy people live off of investments. They leverage assets to acquire more assets that produce a yield. That's what we have set up for all of you guys. Remember the goal that I set with my clubs, with my show, with all of this. I want to get as many average people into a system that you don't have to worry about you or your children or your grandchildren ever having to live paycheck to paycheck again. We can switch you from living paycheck to paycheck to block to block.
That's right. And many of you, you would ask me, hey, we know the halving happens and the rewards being paid are going to be less and less. Isn't that going to affect our net output? The answer is no. It's actually today when we get paid. So if you're a part of a mining pool, you're on Ocean, you're on Luxor, you're on one of the via BTC, whatever mining pool, right? That our miners are on. About 25% of the total value doesn't come from that 3.125 BTC when you solve a block. It actually comes from the transaction fees of the 2,000 to 4,000 transactions that are in each block. So you're dollar cost averaging every 10 minutes. That's the first thing. But the important thing is, as Bitcoin adoption continues to grow, which it will, right now we are about at 3%, which is where the internet was in 1999. And then, it takes off and gets to 90% adoption, and you see what happens. The world changes. We're right at that inflection point that Ben just talked about earlier in the show, where more adoption is going to happen. And what that means is that more transactions will happen. The same miners, even if they didn't get any reward, they'd be still solving thousands and thousands and millions of transactions. And each transaction has a 15 Satoshi, 8 Satoshi, 20 Satoshi fee associated with it. It's the gas fee in Ether. It's the transaction fee in Bitcoin, right? So those transactions are going to multiply as Bitcoin starts being used more and more. The Lightning networks, the adjacent networks come in. At the end, a transaction fee is going to be there for every transaction, and billions of dollars, even more than just the rewards that are initially given to prime the pump. Now, just the transaction fee. The entire banking system, as you know it, runs on transaction fees. The entire stock market as you know it, runs on transaction fees. You think these brokers make money on anything else? They buy and sell your stock, and they make money, and they buy their houses in Connecticut. Okay? Yeah. So transaction fees is where it's going to be. Therefore, you will have perpetual income if you own these miners.
And really, you don't even have to worry about that yet.
Yeah.
That's
way down the road.
12, 14, 18, 24 years from now.
Correct.
That's going to be more of an issue. Not an issue, but more of a reason to switch.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're in the hash pool and you're earning actual Bitcoin, like I said, if you own rigs and we're helping you run, or we're running the rigs and everything, we are basically taking care of your tree. And every single month, you make more apples. And the longer you hold those apples, the larger the apples get. So you can have one investment that is accumulating and an appreciating apple. That's why I say you can live the rest of your life off of one apple tree. Because every time you need a little piece of apples to eat, you have 12 other apples that are growing at a higher rate than you are consuming.
I love your very simple explanation. It's very accurate. And for those who are sophisticated investors, there are actually ways in which those apples can yield additional income without actually even eating the apple. So for example, let's say we invest into Bitcoin mining. Every month it produces a certain amount of Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin comes into your wallet, right? One simple way of, if you wanted cash flow, would be you'd take a tiny bit of that apple and you would sell it and you would get cash. Another way, and there are multiple ways to skin this cat. So another way would be I would take that Bitcoin and I'd create a call option on that Bitcoin as a reserve. And now I'd collect the premium on that call option, which I would price about 10% above the price of Bitcoin at 3 to 6 months out. So I can sell an options contract on that, collect all the premium on it, and that, sorry, but.
I love how you say that like anyone else knows what the fuck you're even talking about. Well, you create a call option and you forward the option into the futures and you bring it back 10%. We have an announcement tomorrow.
Yes.
You and I actually talked about it earlier. This is a revolutionary, and I don't use that word lightly. You guys know I am a revolutionary.
You sure are.
This announcement we have tomorrow, this changes the game for BlackRock. Fuck off. What we are creating is so far ahead of anybody out there that when we launch it, or we officially launch it tomorrow, and once people wrap their heads around what we built, it's off to the races. Because number one, no one else is structured how we are, where I can shift us very quickly.
Correct.
All of the other bigger boys who are going to mimic what we're doing, it's going to take them a year.
They're an aircraft carrier. You can't turn it around. We're like a battleship, which can move very quickly. Yeah.
It will take them a year to even
maybe more.
More. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I guarantee we are going to get calls on, hey, how'd you do that? And we're going to say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck off.
Right. Exactly.
Because you don't give away the secret sauce.
Nope.
And when we announce this, you guys make sure you're watching here tomorrow. Jay, I'm going to let you wrap this up because I have to piss like a racehorse.
Well, this has been, we're almost out of time. We actually.
I will be right back.
So thank you, Ben.
All you, Jay.
All right. We'll just wrap this right up. Folks, this is very exciting indeed. And Ben has given us a real good context for where we are today, what's happening with the corporations. Just to wrap up, these corporations have more than realized that Bitcoin is a reserve asset that they need to have. They're now executing on that strategy. So that means on the demand side, we're going to continue to see growth and pressure, upward pressure. On the supply side, we know that more and more money is going into Bitcoin mining, which is a good leading indicator that the demand is starting to pull the supply side up, which also means price of mining equipment is going to go up, which also means that Bitcoin mining is going to become more of a crowded space because everybody wants to get into it. Nonetheless, all of this bodes very well because based on the charts and based on the macro conditions that we're looking at, right about at 112 would probably be the ceiling. You breach through that. We're analysts of all ilk are talking about anything from $135,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin price by the end of the year. This is not my pricing. This is what various analysts are looking at, and they're saying, well, this is what we see based on the demand and supply and the strength that we're seeing in Bitcoin. So all of those of you who are hodling Bitcoin, keep doing it. It's really important. All of those who are in a position to actually take the loans and expand your portfolio of Bitcoin, you're able to buy some additional Bitcoin, by all means, take that home loan. We have already got a bunch of home loans approved, and these home loans are being applied to buy more Bitcoin, to hodl more Bitcoin. Our partners, our mining partners, our exchange partners are ready, willing, and able to buy bulk. Guys, no amount of money is too large for us to buy on bulk, no KYC. We're not just buying. 5,000 is the floor, but we have members who have sent us hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars actually to buy Bitcoin, and we're executing flawlessly on buying 500, 800, $1 million worth of Bitcoin every week, and we bring it in, no KYC, we send it off to your wallet anywhere on the planet. So this is a well-honed mechanism. It's trusted. It's well understood. Millions of dollars have passed through our system already. Our members are benefiting from it. There is no reason you should not as well. Ben, you want to close it out with?
Absolutely. Everyone, that's opportunity.
Knocking.
And we got about 3 or 4 years of this opportunity. But the earlier that you take advantage of what we had, because guys, the reason we created all of this is because either we run the new system or they will.
Correct.
I want as many wealthy average people as possible. And this and every program we have is to leverage the opportunity, because you either reward yourself with an opportunity or you regret that you missed the opportunity, because everything is opportunity. What really counts is if you execute on the opportunity. If you don't, you are guaranteed to lose every time. When you do, you realize, fuck, I need to say yes more.
That's why Michael Saylor talked about courage.
Yeah.
Courage is what you need to capitalize on this opportunity. Don't let it be a missed opportunity. These opportunities will not come all the time.
No.
This is what's happening right now with Bitcoin is truly once in a lifetime kind of an opportunity.
Once in a humanity.
And the next 3-4 years is just a really critical period that if you have the courage, and the gumption, and the wisdom, you're already part of this amazing club called the Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club. You have like-minded members. You have the support structure. You have experts to help you out. We have experts to get equity from your home. We have experts to buy the Bitcoin for you. We have experts to take loans against that Bitcoin. We have experts to put that investment into mining opportunities and so much more, into banks, into credit unions. So you have everything you need around you with one phone call.
Yep. So everyone right now, give us a call or send us a text, 941-413-6920. Once again, 941-413-6920. Give us a call or send us a text. What you cannot do is not act. It makes no sense. I have talked to people who are like, oh, Ben, if I would have listened to you 4 years ago. I know.
Well, some people did, and they're sitting
yes.
with lots of Bitcoin in their wallets.
Yes. What I'm saying is you're not too late. This is the beginning of the new system. This is us. You have the opportunity to jump on the boat, land on Plymouth Rock, and start exploring and realizing we're in a new world.
This beautiful country.
Exactly.
Called Bitcoin.
Exactly like Michael Saylor says. Look at it as digital land. And they're only producing 450 acres a day. And right now there are 2 million acres available in this new digital country that will live for thousands of years. Don't look at the value now. Look at how much is actually going to be built on top of it.
1 acre of land in Manhattan 100 years ago.
Exactly. We literally got New York because the Indians looked at it as useless. They were like, oh, do you know how hard it is just to swim our asses out there? We'll sell it to you for some beads. Well, what we saw was we got boats. That right there can be something. Yeah, we'll give you some beads for it. Anything under $250,000 per fucking Bitcoin, you're basically paying beads.
You heard it, folks. It's time to go.
Exactly. Buy your fucking Bitcoin beads.
Give us a call. Take care. God bless you.
Love you guys.
Love it so much. Love it. So much fun to do these things, man. Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.